Hey guys, it's me ASMR here, and today I'm going to be reading a Kenma Kozume ex-listener. This one is titled I'm Not a Game, and this is part 3 to the series. You guys have been waiting for another part, and I'm going to try to be updating my series. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right on into the video. Train incident. In a rush, you fight your way through the busy crowd in Tokyo Station. You're unfamiliar with such a large crowd in one single area. Thankfully, you remember the correct train to take back home, so you wouldn't have to be lost in this mass amount of people. Your timing is perfect when you see the train slowly arrive. A loud sound rings out in the train station to warn the others to steer clear of the incoming train. Slowly, the train comes to a halt, and you step inside to let the passengers exit. Or step aside. No, I'm messing it up too much. Hey guys, it's me ASMR here, and today I'm going to be reading a Kenma Kozume ex-listener. This one is titled I'm Not a Game, and this is part 3 in this series. Yeah, without further ado, let's get right on into the video. Train incident. A rush in you. What? How did I get that from that? What? Hey guys, it's me ASMR here, and today I'm going to be reading a Kenma Kozume ex-listener. This one is titled I'm Not a Game, and this is part 3 in the I'm Not a Game series. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right on into the video. In a rush, you fight your way through the busy crowd in Tokyo Station. You're unfamiliar with such a large crowd in one single area. Thankfully, you remember to correct your train, or the correct train to take back home, so you wouldn't have to be lost in this mass amount of people. Your timing is perfect when you see the train slowly arrive. A loud sound rings throughout the station to warn others to steer clear of the incoming train. Slowly, the train comes to a halt, and you step aside to let the passengers exit. After waiting for everyone to leave the train, you're slowly pushed inside by the people around you. As you feel you're being carried by a wave, or you feel as though you're being carried by a wave, your backpack is squished among the adults around you, so you quickly take it off of your back. The train picks up, and you falter slightly, your body bumping into a few people. Lowering your head, you apologize, keeping your head down as you fumble around in your backpack to grab your phone, only to realize it's not inside. Did you leave it at school? Realizing you left your phone behind you, you grumble to yourself. You then suddenly feel a pair of hands touch you on your backside. The color in your face pales. Without a amount of strangers around you, you're unsure of who is groping you. Fear attacks in your mind when a hand boldly touches the back of your thigh. Their filthy hands slowly making a move up as you feel the corner of your eyes sting with tears. You've heard horror stories of girls being harassed like this before, back at home. You never really thought this would happen to you, though. You were too naive. Turning around, you cry out in the silent train, "Stop it!" Your eyes wavering towards 3 separate men, each varying in age. Your eyes dart to all 3 of them, unsure of who had touched you. One specific man looks more startled than the other 2, a middle-aged man in a business suit. "What's your problem, student?" He glares at you, his eyes shifting. "You touched me, that's the problem," you angrily shout, holding back your tears. "Really? There's several people in here. Anyone can brush up against you," he mocks, making you seem like a liar. You feel yourself falter from his words, the others ignoring the situation. With wavering eyes, you feel your heart drop. No one believes you. "We both saw you touch her." A booming voice cuts through the crowd, and the man stiffens before you, guilt written all over his face. A tall man with broad shoulders shoves his way through the crowd. They shield you from the harasser. You notice the familiar mess of spiky black hair. Tetsuro. A warm hand reaches out to your wrist, and as you nervously jolt, you feel yourself ready to pull away until you notice that it's only Kozume. "Are you okay?" He looks at you, his hand slowly dropping from your wrist. Seeing you in front of him gives you a sigh of relief, and the tears you held back slides down your face. You look at Kozume with glassy eyes, shaking your head no. What kind of asshole gropes a high school girl like that? Kuro glares at the man in front of you, his eyes looking the man up and down. You look like you're a father, too. The man holds his ground, glaring at Kuro. What if I am? Kuro scoffs, eyes piercing the man. How would you feel if someone did that to your daughter? Silence comes to the man as his eyes start around. The train comes to a stop and the man quickly dashes out. Kuro yells at the man at the top of his lungs. If I see your face again, I'm gonna talk to the authorities. The train door closes and Kuro turns around to look at you. Are you okay, Wyan? His loud tone from earlier was much softer when he speaks to you. You shake your head, wrapping your arms around Kuro's waist. Kuro stiffens at your sudden embrace. He carefully places one of his hands on the back of your head, the other one on the palm of your back. Your tears stain Kuro's white t-shirt. I was so scared. You whimper into his chest. Just this once, you lower your guard in front of Tetsuro. Kuro's large hand gently strokes your hair, and he envelops you tightly. The earthy, woody smell from Kuro eases your heightened nerves. Kozume silently watches Kuro and you, his vision of the incident earlier still clear in his mind. Kozume narrows his golden eyes to the hand that holds your phone. He mentally thanks you for leaving this behind. You hide yourself in Kuro's arms the remainder of the train ride, your anxiety not leaving you as you still feel as if you were being groped. You didn't know how long it's been when Kuro calls out to you. Wyan, this is our stop. He whispers above you. You slowly pull yourself away from Kuro, lowering your arms to your side. The train door opens up behind Kuro, and he steps aside to let you out first. Stepping out, nervously you avoid the passengers around you. Kuro and Kozume quietly walk behind you, the three of you exiting the train station. When you find a clearing from the crowd, you turn to face the two. With a slight bow, you say a thank you. Thank you for helping me, and I'm sorry for troubling you both. You raise your head, a small, forced smile on your face. Kozume steps forward, extending you your phone in his hand. You look in surprise when you see your phone in his hand. You graciously take your phone back. You left this in your desk, Kozume says softly to you. If you hadn't left your phone behind, these two wouldn't have been on the same train as you. A tear slides down your face as you quickly wipe it away. Your attention turns away from the phone and towards Kozume. Thank you for bringing it to me. Kozume silently looks at you, a small nod. Kuro steps towards you, his hands in his pockets. Should I walk you home? Your gaze turns to Kuro, noticing his worried expression. No, it's okay. I'll be fine from here on my own. It's no bother, Wyan. We live in the same neighborhood. Kuro speaks adamantly. You quietly look at Kuro, your eyes noticing the gym bag beside him, the volleyball iron plastered on the bag. It looks like Kuro still plays volleyball like he did when you two were kids. You have volleyball practice, right? You return your gaze to Kuro, who was surprised from your question. Sorry for making the two of you go out of your way to give me my phone back when you had practice. You bow to the two again and quickly return to go home. Kuro drops his shoulders, a sigh escaping him. Should we follow her? Kenma looks over to Kozume looks over to Kuro. Kuro shakes his head. She's made up her mind. I don't want to annoy her any more than I already have. He turns around and walks towards the station. Kozume takes one last look at your small silhouette before following Kuro. The afternoon rush is gone, and the train station is far less crowded than it was when Kuro and Kozume finally step back inside, the two of them waiting for the train to head back to school. Last name appears to be brave, but she's actually super fragile. Kozume quietly speaks up to Kuro. What made you say that, Kenma? Kuro looks to his side towards Kozume. Kozume keeps his eyes ahead, his lips parting. After lunch, these guys in her class were gossiping about her and they mentioned your name, and she called him out for it. Kuro looked more interested in the conversation. He leans over to Kozume. She what? Kozume slowly turns towards Kuro. She told him not to spread any lies. One of the guys didn't like that and stomped over to her desk. He questioned what she said, and then she said something smart towards him. What were they even trying to make her retort? What were they even saying to make her retort like that? Kuro raises his eyebrows. That she is an ice princess and that she rejected you. Kuro turns Kozume turns his gaze back ahead. Rejected me? Kuro falters from hearing the reasoning. His voice loud in the train station. What idiot started that lie? He then called her pretty with a sour personality. I'd hit her if she... And then... Wait. Sorry, I messed up the whole line. He then called her pretty with a sour personality, and that he'd hit her if she wasn't a girl. Kuro lowers his voice when he hears Kozume, a serious expression forming on Kuro's earlier annoyed face. Hit her? Kozume lowers his eyes to his shoes, scoffing. Kuro is taken aback when he sees Kenma's scoff. He wasn't used to seeing Kozume express much. Kozume raised his hand, scratching the side of his head. I don't know what went through last name's mind when she was taunting the guy to hit her. I noticed how tightly she held her fist underneath the desk, but she held such a fierce gaze towards the guy. Kuro listens to Kozume. With an exhausted sigh comes from Kozume. The guy raised his arm up, and I actually feared he would hit her. My body moved on its own, and I got up to protect her. Kozume rubs his forehead. You really did that, Kenma? Kuro looked surprised, and Kozume nodded his head, turning to look at Kuro. I felt like I shaved 10 years off my life. I was so nervous. Kozume shivers involuntarily when he thinks back to what happened earlier that day. Kuro places his hand on Kozume's shoulders, squeezing it. Thank you for protecting her back there for me, Kozume. It must have taken a lot out of you. Kuro says as he flashes Kozume a wide grin. I don't plan to do that ever again. My energy is lower than it has ever been. Kozume murmurs underneath his breath, Kuro only laughing at Kozume's statement. The sound of the train pulls the two away from their conversation as they safely commute back to their school for volleyball practice. Convenience store. Your walk back home was stressful. You constantly kept looking over your shoulder, fidgeting ever so slightly when a person walks past you. You started to regret not accepting Kuro's offer to walk you back home on the streets of Tokyo, or as you walk the streets of Tokyo. Only when you would turn the corner to your neighborhood did you feel any kind of relief. You quickened your pace towards your house, grabbing your keys out from your backpack. When you would turn the doorknobs after inserting your key in the slot, you turned the doorknob after inserting the key in the slot, closing the door behind you. Your legs gave out underneath you. I'm home, you silently whispered to the empty house, your eyes looking up to your mother's photo frame. She hangs right next to the door to meet you and your father. A frown etches onto your face as you start to cry. I wish you were here, Mom. The tears fall into your lap as you pull your knees into your chest. In the comfort of your own home, you start to sob loudly into your arms, your body trembling immensely. Time skip. After your meltdown, you busy yourself with homework and unpacking the many boxes in your room. You notice the orange and pink hues that paint your room as you hang up your calendar. You walk over to your phone that lays on your desk to see that the time is now 6:30 p.m. Walking past the boxes, you hurry downstairs. With no food in the house, you decide to go back out to the nearest convenience store to pick up something for you and your dad. Sliding your shoes on, you open the door and close it behind you. You turn around and lock the door quietly as you made your way out of your neighborhood. The usual sound of summer cicadas replaced with the faint sound of cars. Despite wanting a change of pace, you started to ache for the countryside that you grew up in. Your hand reaches towards your hair tie as you pull your hair tie down, letting the summer breeze flow through your hair and kiss your bare skin. You stop in your tracks when you see Kozume and Kuro walking in front of you. The two seem to be returning from practice as they were now chatting amongst each other. Nervousness fills your body when you see them. You start to feel insecure about what you are wearing. A black spaghetti-strapped tank top with red gym shorts. Biting your lower lip, you debate whether to turn around or not. But Kuro quickly notices you while you ponder to yourself. Wayan? Kuro and Kozume were now in front of you. What are you doing out blocking out in the middle of the path? Wait, you shouldn't walk out looking like that. Kuro furrows his brows together, his cheeks a faint color of pink. You press your lips together. You're being dramatic. You flick your eyes towards Kuro, faltering slightly when you see his blushing face. Kuro takes off his red jacket that he's wearing and walks towards you. He tries to drape it over you, but you move away from him. Stop being stubborn and put this on. Kuro grumbles at you, extending the jacket towards you. I don't need it, you retort back. I'm just going to the convenience store, then I'm heading back home. You try to step to the side and walk past Kuro. You feel the wall you've built up in front of Kuro starting to crumble down, and it scares you. You're unwilling to put your trust in anyone. For the third time that you two have seen each other, a familiar grasp of the wrist pulls you back. Kuro has you within his hold again. I'm only telling you to put this on so you won't attract unwanted attention. Kuro's hazel eyes pierce at you. Kozume watches your glare towards Kuro soften slightly. I don't know if you're unaware, YN, but you're a pretty girl, and you have to be more careful around here. There's a bunch of weirdos in Tokyo. Your lips twitch when you look at Kuro. The fake anger you showed him earlier slips up. You give in and take his jacket, pulling your wrist away from him. You drape the large jacket over your small frame. You try to glare at Kuro again, bowing to him slightly before continuing to walk to the convenience store. Kuro sighs when he sees you walk away, his hand ruffling his hair in annoyance. So much for not annoying her, Kuro. Kozume nonchalantly speaks up. Kuro ignores Kozume, his hand slapping his face. God, did I just tell her she was pretty? Kuro screams out into his palms. She's going to ignore me now more than ever. It's so unlike you to act like this. Kozume pokes fun at Kuro. You're usually so cocky when it comes to complimenting girls with false lies. Kuro turns to look at Kozume. Well, because I actually didn't take those girls seriously. I told them what they wanted to hear and moved on. But with YN... Kuro groans out loudly, forcing his hands into his pockets, while he walks ahead of Kozume, and he falls behind him. You still have feelings for YN, don't you, Kuro? Kozume throws the question out to Kuro. Kuro whips his body around and stares at Kozume. What makes you say that, Kenma? Kozume shrugs. She makes you act like you're a totally different guy. You're more... soft. But it's only when she's around. Kuro runs over to Kozume, gripping onto Kuzume's arms as he starts to shake Kozume like a doll. Me? Soft? Kuro begins to laugh at this point. Well, from what she said about you earlier, you were more shy when you were younger. There's a close similarity. Kozume blankly looks at Kuro. Kuro averts his eyes, or his gaze, releasing his hold on Kozume. Under Kuro's breath, he whispers shut up. Kuro sulks and turns his heel back forward. Don't you want to see if she'll be okay by herself? It's getting dark out. Kozume calls out to Kuro. Of course I do, Kuro grumbles, but she'll only get angry with me if she knows that I followed her. I'll go with you, Kozume suggests, something that he wouldn't usually. Seeing Kuro upset worried Kenma, so he threw out the idea. Alright, let's go then. Kuro brightened up again, turning back to look at Kozume. We should hurry up and run over there. Kuro starts to run again, leaving Kozume behind. Running again? Kozume grumbles before he begins to run after Kuro. Time skip. You find yourself in the nearest convenience store with no trouble. You walk towards the sliding doors as you enter the store, picking up a basket. Slowly, you walk down the first aisle, which carries chips and candy. The sound of the the sound of the ding rings in the store, with more customer entry. You pay no mind to them as you browse the candy section. Kuro easily spots you, his breath heavy when he enters the store. The clerk at the front greets the two of them, and Kuro bows quickly, not saying a word. Kozume places his hand over her chest, his breathing also not steady. I hate today, Kozume murmurs beside Kuro. She's right over there. Kuro spots at Kozume, the two of them quietly walking beside you. Candy? Kozume whispers when he watches you. Shh, she'll hear you, Kenma. She'll see your hair before she sees me, Kuro. Kozume bluntly retorts, and Kuro leans down from Kozume's statement. You grab a bag of peach rings and place them inside of your bag. You then walk over to the cold food section on the back wall. The variety here is beyond the selection that you had back at your old place. A sparkle shines in your eyes when you see several box meals. She's so cute. Kuro squeals out next to Kozume. Kozume sees you smile when he hears Kuro clench his chest dramatically. And he hears Kuro clench his chest dramatically. You reach towards the inori sushi box and your hand clashes with an extended hand. You jerk back and apologize, looking over only to see that it's the same guy you saw earlier during lunch break. You didn't realize how tall this gray-haired, green-eyed guy was until you were standing directly in front of him. He also recognizes you and extends the inori box towards you. Oh, I'm sorry, were you reaching for this? You shake your head. You can have it. I was just going to get it from my dad, but I can get him something else. Is that Lev? Kuro grumbles in the sudden situation, so she doesn't get angry in front of Lev. Kenma spoke his thoughts out loud. Kuro only looks at Kozume with furrowed brows. What are you muttering over there? We have to stop Lev from talking to her. Kuro stands up straight, and he starts making his way over to the two of you, but then was pulled back by Kozume. We're not supposed to let her see us, Kuro. Kozume looks up at Kuro, but Kozume shakes his head and Kuro gives in, sighing. Oh, so your dad's the one that likes inari sushi, huh? Lev chuckles, scratching his cheek. I was hoping he did, since not many people around my age enjoy them. Sorry. You awkwardly laugh. She's laughing with him? Kuro groans under his breath. He shakes his fist beside him. Oh, my Lev is Haiba Lev. What's yours? Last name, first name. You answer him. Are you a third year? He waves his hand in front of him. No, I'm actually first year. Your eyebrows raised. Really? I wouldn't have guessed that. Lev shyly chuckles underneath his breath. Why is he acting so coy? Kuro clenches his teeth. Or Kuro says through clenched teeth. Kozume gently pats Kuro's back as a means to calm him. I get that a lot, so it's understandable. Lev smiles at you. My ass, who's called him a third year? Kuro's voice is a little louder than intended, and he quickly covers his mouth when he realized what he had said. You weren't sure if you had actually heard Kuro earlier, but you now were certain. Excuse me, Haiba. You walk past him, turning towards the aisle where you heard Kuro's voice. You cross your arms and you see Kuro That's so embarrassing. You cross your arms when you see Kuro squatting down in the aisle, but what surprises you more was seeing Kozume also squatted down next to him. Narrowing your eyes, you glare at the two. What are you two doing here? Kuro stands upright, his arms crossed at you. What are you doing, YN? Kuro repeats the question back at you. Lev walks over when he notices next to you when he notices Kuro and Kenma. Oh, Kuro, Kozume, you two are here too? Lev innocently smiles. Kuro flicks his eyes away from you briefly to look at Lev. Why are you flirting with YN? Flirting? I wasn't. Lev quickly denies Kuro's statement. Hey, don't even try to change the subject. You speak towards Kuro. Kuro's gaze returns back to you, his mouth open, but no words leaving them. Kozume stands next to Kuro. I was worried about you, so Kuro came along with me. Kozume's voice catches everyone's attention, and your glare relaxes. You look at Kozume blankly. Kozume was worried about you? He's lying. Kuro steps in front of you, blocking your view of Kozume. He came along with me because he knew I was worried about you. Your narrow eyes go to Kuro once again, taking a step back from him. I'll keep playing this game of tag with you, YN, until you give in and trust me. You grow nervous when his tall frame hovers over your small one. Lev eyes the two of you with a curious expression. Unable to form words, you walk away from Kuro. A distant look clouds over your face when you bite your lower lip. You feel irritated from Kuro, his words wavering in your heart slightly. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to subscribe and tap the notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a video. And also like the video because it does something for the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you do that because, I know you guys like the series, so here it is. And yeah, I'm sorry for the late posting, guys. I just, school and everything. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to subscribe. As I already said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.